All right, we have a motion and a second to deny the expansion of a non-conforming use. Commissioner Rockwell.
So, we've had similar instances before, similar examples before, and I give this a lot of thought. For the Planning Commission to approve an expansion of a non-conforming use, we are asked to find the enlargement, expansion, and so forth to be compatible with adjacent property and with the neighborhood. So, thinking on that for a minute, this isn't about whether the proposed alteration is more palatable than the current use. It's whether it's consistent. And we have grandfathering in of uses in the city so that we're not shutting down businesses with an eminent domain like power when we rezone. And of course, all non-conforming uses some of them are compatible with the neighborhood. I think of a neighborhood corner store that might be rezoned to an R1 in a blanket zoning. A streetcar era store that is an important piece of the neighborhood, and I can see how that would be, how we could see that as consistent with the history and with the use of that neighborhood. So, in thinking about this particular project in Dinkytown, I think about Dinkytown. Dinkytown is very walkable. It's a historic neighborhood. It's adjacent to the University of Minnesota, and I pulled some of the stats on the U area. The total student, staff, faculty population of campus is 80,000 every day once everybody's on campus. According to a 2014 university transportation study, 63% of all trips to and from campus are made without a car. And then once you get to campus, only 4% of trips on and around campus are made in a car. 74% of trips are made on foot. So it's an incredibly walkable area, car independent area, and I just don't think that a drive-through is appropriate. I also, as we think through some of the data we've received in the comprehensive planning drafting process, we know that our city plans for climate action call for an 80% reduction of greenhouse gas emissions, and we were told by staff that research shows we're going to have to reduce vehicle miles traveled, car trips, by 37% if we're going to hit that, and that includes if we have electric vehicles on the roads by 2050. So 37%, that's a huge drop in car trips. And if we are going to do that, we need to stop investing in car infrastructure. And this is a place which really specifically is about walkability. It's one of the most walkable neighborhoods in the city, if not and the state. I think if a McDonald's existed here with no drive-thru, it would survive just fine, given those statistics. I also think about the 80% reduction goal, and that's the city of Minneapolis's target, but it's also the global target. So that means we all collectively have to get there. And Minneapolis always touts its best of lists. It touts its economy. It touts its civic engagement and pride. And I think that if we just hit an 80% reduction, are really getting C grade. We have to be beyond that because we can. We have the resources to do that, and that means taking action now where we can. And this is certainly a place that asks us to explore what's appropriate, what's compatible in this area. So, McDonald's as a corporation has actually done a lot on climate change recently. They committed to a 37% reduction in CO2 by 2030, which is huge. So this is not against McDonald's, but I do think that we should avoid any kind of investing in infrastructure that goes against what our city is now and what our city is attempting to become.